Hi and welcome back to SMP videos. In this video we're going to show you how to enhance your surveys by adding images. Specifically, we're going to replace the answers to our browser survey with the actual logos to those browsers, just to make them more attractive and easier to recognize. Later on in further videos we'll show you how to incorporate advertising materials such as new product information, videos and audio to your surveys. But right now let's get started by loading up our browser logos. So the first thing we need to do is open up the image library and upload some images. So I'll click on the image logo there and you'll see that the image library opens up and it shows us some images that have already been used in a previous study. But I want to upload browsers now, so I have to start a new directory. So the first thing I want to do is create a new directory, and I want to call that directory browsers, and that'll be the place where I load up all my logos. So I click on the Create New Directory button here. Up opens a box, and I type in the word browsers. Then I hit the tick button, and my directory is now complete. There's nothing in it yet. So what I'll do is I'll upload images in two different ways. First of all, I'll upload an individual image by clicking on the upload button there. So the first thing I want to do is now that I've got the rich text editor open, is load an image up into it. And I do that by clicking on the browse button here, and that'll bring up a directory tree. I navigate to where my images are. Okay, so here are my images in this directory here. And first one I'll bring up with a Chrome image. I say open. I have to type in a name. If I'm bringing them up one by one, I have to type in a name for each. So obviously I'll type up Chrome and then say upload. And that'll upload my browser or my browser logo into the image library. Now I'll show you how to bring them all up in one go. And to do this, what you do is you put them all in a zip file. So I've got a whole lot of browser logos now in a zip file, and I open the zip file upload option, which is this third button here, or this third icon. I click on that. I browse to where my zip file is, and here it is here, and all these browsers are loaded into that zip file. I click on that zip file, say open, say upload, and now you can see that all my browser logos have been uploaded into the image library into a directory called browsers, and I may want to give each of them a label to use when they are used in the survey. So I double click on each, and you can see that this already has a label there, but basically it brings up a rich text box and I can put a label in there. This time I've called it Chrome. I've formatted it to be in the center and to be dark blue. I do the same to all the other browsers, and they all now have labels that I'll be able to use in my survey. Let's now go and load these images into my browser survey. The first thing I want to do is edit my browser survey, so I navigate to the particular line that it's on and click on the edit survey icon. This brings up my survey, and you can see the three panes, the question tree over here, the center pane which builds my survey in front of me, and it's a real working model of it, and the parameters here which actually build the survey. So I want to change the answers to the brands aware question. You can see at the moment they're all text. Now I want to make them all images. So the first thing I've got to do, I guess, is get rid of all these text ones, and I do that by clicking on the X button here, the red X for delete, and I delete all those. I'll leave the none button because I actually want to keep that option. Now to upload the images, what I do is I use this second uploading option, which is the image editor option. So if I click on that, you'll see the image editor or the image library is again opened. I navigate to the directory that I want to use, in this case browsers, and I select the various browsers or browser logos or images that I want to use or populate this question with. I can also select the all box up here, that'll bring all of them in. I then close that pop-up, and in comes all the images that'll be the answers to my question. Now what you can see here is that they're not well formatted at the moment. In fact, they're formatted to be text, so we'll just have to do some formatting to change that. And I do that by clicking on the answer parameters drop down here, and then I navigate to the answer width, answer height selectors here, which will enable me to change the size and width of my images. An easier way to do that is to use the visual editor there, or the resizer. So I'll click on that. There's my resize box. I'll just move it to the center so you can see it a bit better. I click on the bottom right hand corner and I drag that to be the size of the images that I want. You can see the images all change in terms of the size that I want. Close that box. Now I don't really want the answers to be listed in a long single line like that, so I really want them in 5 columns, I think. So I navigate over here to the answer parameters once more, click on the answer columns, tap in the number 5, and you can see my answers are now arranged into 5 columns. I also don't want none there. I want none to be at the bottom. So I'll just have to move that down to the bottom by pressing the down arrow there, and you can see it moving down to the bottom. Okay, now you can see I've pretty much got my question now set up with the images in there rather than the logos. However, I want to include the image labels just in case people don't know or recognize all of these labels. They might actually know the browser but not know the logo. So this time I want to include the image label. So I do that again by clicking on the answer parameters here, and then I select the show image description box there, and you'll see all the image descriptions come in. And you can see for some of them the image description section is not quite big enough, so we just need to make that slightly higher or longer, and we do that again by using the resizing box. This time we click on the little box at the bottom here which controls the image description. I'll just make it slightly bit longer. You can see that changes all the images, and now you can see all the labels as well as the image. We also want the answers to be randomized, so I'll select normal random. Now they're all randomized. The one thing you will have noticed is that none was randomized as well. I don't really want none to be randomized. I want that to be locked in position. So I choose the fixed position icon, go down to the option none, click on that, and that will make sure that the none is always in the right position. So I'll navigate away from this question and back. And you can see that none now, even though all the images are rotating or randomizing, the none is not. It's staying at the bottom there, which is exactly what I want to happen. You'll also notice when I test this survey that even though the answers to the main brand question are the answers that were selected in question 3, this is known as piping. So you can see we're piping the answers from question 3. This will pipe through the images. I'll show you that by testing the survey. So let's do the survey. Male, continue, 30 to 39. And now, which of the following internet browsers have you seen or heard of before? Well, I've seen a Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Opera, Safari and Netscape. I click continue. The only ones that will come through will be the answers to main brand. You can see once again, now that I'm using images, I need to reformat these images for this question. So I go back to my survey. And even though there are no answers included in this because they're piped through from question 3, I still need to set the width and height of both the image and the label. Now if I test this survey once more, and I complete these standard beginning questions, I've seen Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Internet Explorer, Netscape, Safari. Continue. And the answers to the previous questions are now piped through as images, and it asks me which of these would I consider to be the one I use most of the time, and that would be Chrome. I'll finish the survey. And now what I need to do is save the survey, although that happens automatically when I run a test, but just for safety's sake, I'll press the save button up here. The survey is now saved, and that concludes our introduction into using and uploading images to enhance your surveys with. Bye for now.